So we finally got a release date for the Crystal Lake series, so we know we're going to be getting Jason back next year in 2024, and that just makes me think, when are we finally going to get Freddy back? He is in my top 2 slashers. It's kind of difficult to decide because he is absolutely one of my favorites, and just as a Freddy fan, it's difficult for me to see everybody else starting to come back, get reboots, franchises back. We just had a Halloween trilogy in the last 4 years. We had a Child's Play remake the other year, and we've had 2 seasons of Chucky since then. We're getting Jason back next year. We've even gotten Leprechaun like twice since we've last seen Freddy. We have fully seen Saw end and reboot. It's going to be 3 times at the end of this year. So where the fuck is Freddy? And I know there's some stuff going on with the Craven estate. I know that they were shopping around ideas, trying to make sure that they get the right thing going on. And part of me thinks that what's so difficult about this is that you have that extremely iconic actor attached to the franchise, Robert Englund, and you know, this isn't a Chucky situation. He can't just hop into a booth and voice him and then walk away, because Brad Dourif, he could voice Chucky until the end of time. That doesn't really take any kind of physical effort. Age doesn't really affect anything like that. Maybe his voice has gotten a tad bit raspier, but still it's not very physically demanding like the role of Freddy would be. And especially because we saw the remake crash and burn so badly, it's just difficult, I think, for anybody to just pick this franchise up again, cast a new actor, and just make it happen again, which is what I want. And Jason Blum, he's been saying that he thinks he could get Robert Englund back as Freddy. Maybe I'd want that one last time, but I can't help but feel like that just stalls us out again, because we get one more movie and then we would just have to wait again another 10 years for a reboot probably. Unless it did incredibly well, then, you know, maybe we would see one quickly enough. But I'd honestly I want them to move on and reboot and kind of maybe do some kind of clean slate. But it's honestly frustrating. We have seen every other horror icon pass him, and it almost feels like he's falling to irrelevancy outside of the horror community because he's not in the forefront of people's minds. We're not getting any new movies, new content, just nothing. We're not seeing Freddy. He's at the back of people's minds, and I would love to see a new movie with him. The thing is too, it's not like this character is any kind of creative dead end. As much as I love the Halloween movies, and I could watch 30 of them if they made 30 of them, there's a little bit of limited creative potential with what you could do with Michael Myers. He is a silent guy who just goes around and kills people. There's not way too much you could do with him unless you kind of throw him into a new situation, but just the very concept of haunting dreams gives you unlimited potential with what you could do in terms of these kills, in terms of story, the new rules that you can add or create. There is so much untapped potential with this franchise as long as it's been running, and we really haven't gotten to see it in a modern setting in any kind of meaningful way. I mean, let's just think about the last 25 years. So New Nightmare is just kind of its own thing. It's just a very meta version of Freddy, not even really Freddy. The movie's just not focused about Freddy or the dream sequences or anything like that. It's just kind of its own thing. And then Freddy vs. Jason, that's an incredibly good Freddy movie, but the focus isn't on Freddy haunting children or teenagers or anything and infesting dreams. The movie's mainly focused on him and Jason's rivalry, and that's the strength of the movie, but there's give and take there. You know, in order to give Jason any kind of story, you kind of have to take away from Freddy. I think Freddy dominates the story a lot more than Jason, but still there's give and take in between the two of them. And then what? We got the remake. It was squandered potential. And I really think that Jackie Earle Haley, he could have done something very interesting with, I don't want to say he could have done something interesting with the role. I think that the material he was given just wasn't good enough. I don't blame him. It's not his fault. But because that movie didn't do well, because it didn't live up to its potential, and it kept things a little bit too grounded and CGI-ish, as well as just really a gross kind of plot with him. The movie crashed, burned, failed, and now the franchise has been dead for 13 whole years, where we haven't seen anything from Freddy, and it's not looking like we're gonna see him anytime soon. And I'm really hoping that they get up off their ass and just finally give us something. Anything. I will take anything. But they've just been so slow on the uptake. I'm just hoping the popularity of horror and slashers, especially at this moment in time, which has absolutely risen, and I'm very happy to say that horror's been more relevant now than it has been in a long time. But I would have thought after the success of Halloween in 2018 that they would have greenlit immediately. Like I said, we're getting requels with everything. Scream and Leatherface, two other examples. We have basically seen all these franchises come back in some capacity in the last 5 years, and Freddy is just missing, and it's a big sore thumb. And yeah, there's a lot of reasons for that, but they're not reasons that I can't see being fixed. Just get an actor to inhabit this role, commit to this character, and we got a franchise on our hands, easily. I'm hoping that they come back. I don't believe that it is going to be anytime soon, but I can't help but just keep bugging out about it because, for fuck's sake, they gotta give us something. I just don't know what's taking so long. Even just hearing them talking about shopping it around, I feel like that was 3 or 4 years ago when I heard about that, so I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's taking so long. I hope they act soon, even though I don't want them to rush it, but hopefully they have a good idea and they just capitalize on it and give us an incredible Nightmare on Elm Street movie. I'd love to see it. I hope that they do something special. But until then, I guess we're just gonna have to wait. Am I the only one who feels this way? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear from you guys. Have a good one.